since young, year 7, I got violated by black women, like dark-skinned women. So obviously, white girls were easiest for me. So I started liking white girls more. But as I got older, my mom told me like black women ain't the same. And I see my sister and that they're calm. So now I date black girls. But what I think is black girls is just stereotypes, isn't it?
It's stereotypes of the angry black woman.
Yeah, like the angry, bipolar and all that. Yeah, that's what I think.
Syndrome. Now, apparently, based on research, there are a large and alarming number of black women who are single in the US and in the UK. Now, in America, Essence.com, they posted this article, right, based on research from matchmakers with the top 7 reasons as to why black men do not want to approach black women. The 7 reasons, some of them was, we don't seem as fun, right? We look like we can't be bothered. This is about black women, and black men think this. We don't offer enough support. We don't offer enough support. We're more inhibited sexually, and men's friendliness is always misunderstood by black women, and we put too much pressure on black men.
Wait a minute. Are we saying if black women are really single, or the quality of guys that are out there are not necessarily?
I think it's
many women.
I think the quality of guys is not.
Can I be understanding? Let's understand something. Lately,
can I be understanding?
Like, let's understand something. There's too many women. There's like 7 to 1 guy.
If you had a choice, would you have more than one woman?
We cannot answer them kind of questions. I'm married. What kind of questions are these? That is not in the manual. Edit, cut, remove.
It's funny they got a white dude in the mix, and we'll hear what he got to say. But they named off a few reasons. Not as fun. I don't know what that's about. You know what I mean? Hard to approach, I guess. Not as nice. I think that's what she said. I think that's a common thing that brothers complain about, is black women not being approachable or always on guard. And as far as the sexual thing, man, I think a lot of times is who you are as a man. And what a woman will do, whatever, man. If you have to turn her on and make her feel electric. Has to be, as I always say, a dynamic experience. And the way you bring that along, man, you just can't be like, if she's never been into that. It's part of these things, man. If a woman is not as cultured, if you will, or can't show you new things, sometimes you have to open her up. She may be sheltered. She may be only used to a certain type of guy, which is what a lot of us complain about. She's used to a certain type of guy that may not be cultured, that may be just a Pookie and Ray Ray, which seems to be the common thing that is talked about. But let's get back to it, though.
Okay, hypothetically speaking, if you could have more than one...
My dad did, my uncles did, my dad's dad did, my
friends are the same.
Okay. What happened now is generations have changed. It's you women now that are not accepting it.
It's
you women now that are not accepting it. My moms, my aunties, 4 wives, 3 wives, 2 wives.
But how wealthy were they?
What wealthy?
How wealthy were
Some
the men?
people were poor as shit and had 7 wives.
Well, then that's
it was about the fact that there wasn't enough women. There's not enough men.
Because you know why? Because women are on the rise.
So we're saying, okay, so to conclude,
now you're...
Ain't nobody paying attention to what the fuck he talking. No offense, but it goes back to, we talk about, it's a no-brainer. Women outnumber men, but in America, here in the States, and even in Western civilization, it seems like women feel like they're very rare, and there are tons of men. Tons of men are coming after them, shooting their shot in the end, and, you know, shooting their shot, paying them all this attention because of social media has made the world a lot smaller, if you will. So they can get all this attention, even walking out the house at the drop of a dime. But in terms of the men, I don't want, what is it, 10, 20% of the men are basically getting women pregnant, or are the ones that are reproducing with women at this point. So it's only X amount of women go after a small amount of guys. So it makes sense what they're actually saying here, you know, with this whole 7 to 1. But in Western society we treat it like that's not the situation. Like the woman, and I don't want to say prize. I keep going back to that prize, but how could you ever be the prize when it's so many of you and there's so little men? If you get what I'm saying, so.
Empowerment and everything, fantastic, wonderful.
Yeah.
Some of you are not going to marry.
Yeah, it's true.
Some of you are not going to have
They're going to be forever single.
Some of you are going to be single forever. Some of you are going to be in and out of relationships.
No,
but what I'm saying is because there's 7 to 1. So that one woman that's not willing to do 100%, that guy is going to find another woman that's willing to do it. It's just how it works. Why? Because guys more than likely
can we also talk about the caliber of men? Because come on, it's shoddy business going on out there. Like some of my friends, I'm like, you good girls, but the guys,
they always go.
Girls like bad guys.
That's true.
And then they want it to turn good.
It's an age. It's the age and the generation.
They like bad guys. Why? You want a man that can protect you and hold it down and respect you.
I don't need protecting anymore.
And then,
I'm fine.
as he gets older, you tell him, listen, you got to drop something out, and he's looking at you like, yeah, but how?
I agree with that. I think sometimes there's the thrill of the bad guy, but I do feel.
In what day and age? It's not the 90s anymore.
It's
still out there.
Not the thrill of the bad guy, but you want a guy with a little bit of edge because you don't want something boring that can kind of be a bit feisty or has his own opinions. But I do think though, with social media, I think guys are getting a bit too brave, and they because they think there's loads of options, more options. There are. So they're kind of like, oh, okay, you won't do it.
In Miami.
Well, yeah, exactly.
In Atlanta,
international.
it's lit.
Because all they have to do is slide in the DM.
This is in the UK, right? Obviously, by the way they're talking, it sounds like they're in the UK, gals and things like that. But we were speaking on what's going on in the States, which I think is, if you're in the UK, you shouldn't really be speaking unless you spend an adequate amount of time in the States instead of going off what you see on social media. But yeah, there's options. Social media has made it being tons of options in terms of dating, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I guess the percentage-wise, who actually gets married from social media, those connections on social media, as opposed to real-life experiences, and then it doesn't change the numbers because there's only a certain amount of people that are dating via social media or in the DM, so on and so forth, as opposed to the outside. It still doesn't, the numbers are skewed depending on how you're looking at it, but at the end of the day, it still doesn't change the numbers in terms of the population out here in the world, if that makes any sense what I'm trying to say, what's actually online. Because there's an abundance, but hey.
Way back when, there wasn't the DMs. There wasn't even
DMs is a bit scummy.
It was harder to kind of see your options. But I think men are spoilt for choice and they're being picky. So I think
so are women. Why are we thinking that it's only men? Do you know how many men are out there?
Because you must respect yourself. Let's not forget that.
Let me tell you something.
Let's not forget. This is another issue. A lot of women want to be like men, and men are now thinking, well, if you want to be men, be men.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that.
Not that it's right for men to do it, but a lot more women are trying to do what men are doing, and men are coming across like.
I'm not talking about sleeping with everybody, but having your options. If you know what I mean, if the offering that's currently there isn't really saying nothing.
If this is a current account,
this is not Santander.
A woman should take her time with a man and get to know him, not sleep with him. I'm not saying. I mean, get to know him and see if it's compatible. Problem with a lot of women is they don't ask questions. They feel like if I ask them too many questions,
I want to know your credit. What's your credit score? Like what you're really saying,
But you're right. I think some women, you're right. Some women don't have the standard.
And that's those that are dating with intention. You got dating it with intention, and we just dating to have fun. And a lot of women will say they're dating with intention, but what are your intentions? To struggle? You know what I'm saying? Or your intentions to have a good bed and have the castle over the mountain that comes with the bridge. Literally, we could go shop it in Italy. Let me go ahead off that, man.
You want to have children, you don't want to have children.
Some women don't have the standards, but then because those women don't have the standards, it makes it an effect on everyone because then they think every woman has got no standards.
Because if you meet 10 women and you're going through no standards 10 times. Yeah. You meet number 11 and she's like, I got standards. You're like, please.
Yeah.
You're going to first say, please.
But isn't it all about sex then? If that's the case, the ease of sex. Because isn't that really the end goal that if you're meeting 10 girls, they're all saying the same thing. The 11th one says, she's got standards, but you're like, nah.
That's why some people marry the 11th one.
Yeah.
That's why some people marry the 11th one. Yeah. And some people...
Man, my man hitting it on the head. That's why they marry the 11th one. Facts. We done going through all 10, but yeah, the 11th one already.
People say, no, I'm going back to
Unfortunately, some men go through, this sounds awful, but some men go through them to get to that one.
It's true. No, but then when they get to that one, usually then they still behave bad.
They do.
And that's the problem. A lot of wives are at home crying because their husbands are not staying at home. They still want to go and play.
That's why women are single.
You know, let me say something to you, yeah? Do you understand? Do you know the meaning of embarrassment?
Go on,
yes. A lot of women don't want that in their home.
It's true, that's true.
You see, some women would rather stay. You see when they say keep your problems at home.
Yeah.
Keep it locked in the house.
African.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah? They will keep it there. You see? You understand? African women is like, a lot of them is, when you get married, stay in that home.
Yeah. But then you got the white women going on Jeremy Kyle.
Stay in that home.
It's true.
As soon as there's a problem, you come and discuss it with the elders. The elders will tell you, go back to your husband's house.
It's true.
So it doesn't matter.
I'm a firm believer in that, but it seems like the modern woman has a knack for seeking counsel or advice from girlfriends who don't have shit going on and never had a successful relationship, instead of keeping things in-house. Now, in terms of, I know you guys are going to get into abuse and things like that. That stuff is never okay, right? It's never okay. In terms of that in-house. I mean, that's when you have to, develop that plan and get up out of that situation. We're talking about embarrassment and all these things like that. That's definitely not okay. But if we're talking about other issues within the household and disagreements, so on and so forth, that's something you have to deal with. Like you said, the way it should be is you should have elders you can seek counsel with who have a track record or known to have well-balanced and stable marriage and a healthy marriage, if you will, or what appears to be. Instead of going out telling your business on social media and going live and talking to these chicks who are going to basically give you some advice that you want to hear at the end of the day. Not exactly what you need to hear,
What he does.
What happening is, you're going back home, B. It's lit.
So there's a recent survey on essence.com that said the reason why so many black women are single is because black men are scared to approach them. Do you think this is true?
We need to up our game.
So are you scared to approach a black woman?
Well, no, it's just that I feel that black women they're too proud.
Proud?
Yeah.
Okay, honest, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Black women, they're too proud. So, yeah, that's why I kind of get put off by it.
Okay, let's see this, yeah. Since young, year 7, I got violated by black women, like dark-skinned women. So obviously, white girls were easiest for me.
Yeah.
So I started liking white girls more.
Yeah.
But as I got older, my mom told me black women ain't the same.
Yeah.
And I see my sister and that they're calm. So now I date black girls.
Yeah.
But what I think is black girls just stereotypes, isn't it?
So it's the stereotypes of the angry black woman.
Huh? Yeah, the angry, bipolar and all that. Yeah, that's what I think.
So
I think that it is a stereotype. There is pride there, which has, like I said earlier in this video, that you come across. But I think some women, as a defense mechanism, they play into these stereotypes because instead of effective communication, they go into that, ratchet or that loud and belligerent, or even not so much even in relationships, just out in stores and interactions. We see these videos of aggression because instead of communicating effectively or toning it down, if you will, or de-escalating a situation, you're just going to go all out and perpetuate that narrative and that stereotype. Just my opinion, but that's kind of like what I see. But I think women, we perceive it a lot of times as black women do have a chip on their shoulder. And when you might get your head, you know, bitten off, if you will, as you guys said. She's gonna chew your head off just for even trying to start a conversation with her.
You now, as you've gotten older, you've got what, more confident in approaching black women?
Yeah, because obviously now, I don't know, I think my looks gone better. So when I drop game to black girls,
they're like,
they don't mind now.
There are a record number of women in their 30s who are freezing their eggs in the UK. Does this show that it's much harder to settle down and find the one in the UK? So is it a sense of, okay, because it's my generation, we spent our 20s building our careers, developing ourselves, taking our time, not rushing into anything, and then we hit our 30s and we're trying to find the one and we can't find him. Do you think that's why there's so many women who are freezing their eggs?
I don't believe in the one. I stopped believing in the one many years ago. Like after I had my first proper heartbreak, I was like, once that one happens, it's like you can't sit around.
I was just talking to that. I was just speaking to a Instagram friend. She knows what I'm talking about, and we were talking about the one. And like I said, you can't. There is no one at the end of the day. You'll come to that term. It's maybe someone you're content with, but in terms of the one, baby, I am the one. You know what I'm saying? When you meet a person, sometimes, at least for me, and it's like, I can carry on a conversation with this person. She's beautiful. She has all these things on the checklist. Some people would consider that the one, but it's just someone you mesh with, somebody that's cool with, and you may share a season, but sometimes it's not meant to be forever, in my opinion. You know, you may grow apart, you may be cool. It's just at this moment in time, this is the person. Not necessarily the one, but this is the person.
I'm waiting for the cool guy, the good guy, the guy that's got this. I've had good guys. I've had guys I can't freaking stand.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah.
And he might be the perfect person for somebody else, but just not for me. Yeah.
Not for you.
I don't believe in the one. So he's not going to.
Because our generations now, there's a lot of people that they see each other. Yeah. What the fuck? Sorry. I'm going to say it. What the fuck does that mean? Seeing each other.
I think that's linking, right?
Yeah, of course. Back in our day.
Check someone. You go your way. You go your way.
I'm using some of my debit amount on you.
But then it doesn't move forward.
Does it mean that that's why women...
It's not supposed to.
But then does it mean that women are wasting their time seeing people in their 20s, and when they reach their 30s, they're thinking, oh my God,
what's happened?
What's happened?
And that women now, because what the empowerment and being strong, independent women, they don't need a man. This is
to have a kid.
2017, and I was like, they don't need a man to have a kid. They can freeze their eggs and live a happy life
and get artificial
and have a kid later on. They don't need the man.
Before I was with my current partner, I did look into that because I was kind of worried. You know, I was kind of thinking, okay, I'm approaching like my late 20s. It's not working.
She was. I remember.
I was like, okay, I'm really struggling to find the right partner, and I did. And one of my friends actually, she had a baby by artificial insemination because she was 35, and she was like, Vanessa, I can't.
I don't think you should put age on having a baby.
But she was like, biologically, this is my cut-off time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she was saying, so she was like 35 years old. If I wait until after, it's going to be high risk. So she made the choice to have a baby. So I did look into it, and it is something that I think, you know, you do worry about, because men, like I said, it's very hard because of the standards that I have to find not a lot of men that respect women, or sometimes they're intimidated by women like myself that, you know, I can look after myself, I've got my own business. Sometimes it can be quite intimidating, so I think
I'm intimidated because you're an adult, you've got your own business, you're successful. I have the same stuff, but I'm going to be intimidated with you. Women, please stop the same talking points over and over and over and over. Where are you getting this? Are men telling you that they're intimidated? Or do you feel that way because you just deal with Pookies? And Pookie is intimidated maybe, but he's not really intimidated because he knows what he's getting. He's got that mouthpiece. But why do you feel that a man is intimidated because you can take care of yourself? I want to get an explanation, a real world scenario that happened with you ladies, where a guy he either said or you found that he felt that way. What makes you feel that way? I need some answers. Maybe even interview a woman that feels that way. You know, I want to hear this shit.
These women, it's sort of like they're forced to freeze their eggs because it's just really hard.
You want to find love. Are you looking for love?
Yeah.
You will find love. Are you looking for love?
I wasn't looking for love when I found it. So I think sometimes it happens when you're not even looking.
But you have to love yourself, is what I'm saying.
That's the truth.
Me, I found my wife when I was loving myself. And she loved herself, and we realized that, okay, we've now got love to give. You have to have love to give. A lot of people don't have love to give. Nowadays, it's really about, they give you so many platforms not to communicate. People now receive messages and don't want to read it just because. That's the site we live in. Oh, I got a message, I'll read it later. Why? Messages are meant to be read straight away.
That's what they're there for.
Replies are meant to be made straight away. Instantly. You have the access to do so straight away.
I think, that it has changed the dynamic of communication just in general. Where we blow stuff off, we'll read it and we'll say we'll get back to it later, or we play this game with time, or we basically make them wait. And it is weird that, you know, adults, when we really think about it, why do we play these games? You know, but that's just how it is. That's the world that we're in. He's describing it perfectly.
That's why some people are seeing things and they're finding their way through life. And some people are seeing things and they're sitting on it.
It's true.
It all depends on the type of people are. We live in the craziest time now.
We do. It's
the craziest time. Like, the conversations we're having are good because no one told us these things.
No.
Yeah, it's true. So there's a large number of women in their 30s who are freezing their eggs.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
I may be one of them who might do it one day because, I mean, I'm a singer-songwriter and I don't really want to have kids for a good few years. But I think nowadays our generation...
too quick to have one.
No, it's not that we're too quick to have one. If you're not ready to have one at a certain age, like I'm in my later half of the 20s, and I don't want kids for a long time, nor do I want it with any randomer.
It's God's beat maker.
And I don't know. I will put a light in the sky for the G's that done turn memory from go. Blessings we send to the ghetto youth them.